So reference checks are different than background checks. Background checks is an independent thing done by somebody to kind of look in your background and kind of search about information on you. Reference checks are where you're providing references or people that can verify for you or vouch for you or give information to an employer about you. So you have control on that, on who you're providing references for. And companies might ask for references, some might not. Most still ask for references, maybe 3 references, 2 to 3 references is all you really need. And this is all part of that whole trust but verify type thing. We've gone through the whole process, but we like to check a couple references. And this is also a good sign where they're going to take the time to check references because they're trying to decide between the final candidates. Maybe there's only 2 of you or 3 of you, and this is another data point they can use to help decide between different candidates. Now, from the employer's side of it, actually reference checks are a problem. A couple things with it. One, it takes time, right? You're trying to call maybe former employers, or you're trying to call the references that you've provided as a job candidate, and you can't get a hold of people, and you're playing phone tag, or you're trying to send emails back and forth, but you really want to have a conversation with them. And so it takes time, and managers and folks don't have a lot of time, right? So that's a problem. Also, these are candidate-provided references. So who are you going to provide as references, right? That's going to be people who are going to speak well of you. So as an employer, it's yeah, okay, so he's got his buddy or a former manager who liked him, or her. So that's great, but it might not be, everything I need as far as from a reference. That's where provided references, might be a little bit more challenging for the employer, but they'll call and verify and at least get another opinion of you. It might be good. In particular, even if you're not providing references, what good managers will do is at least call 1 or 2 of your former managers and try to get a little bit more about your information, things that you're talking about in your interviews. Was this a good employee? Did they show up on time? Did they interact well with the team? What did you think of this person's strengths, or what do you think their weaknesses were? Having just a couple questions with that former manager. But again, there's a problem there because former managers don't want to share that information typically. They don't want to hurt your job search, for one. They also don't want to be, maybe liable from a legal standpoint, where they might say something accidentally or, maybe truthfully, but then they cost you your job opportunity, and you could potentially sue that former employer, that former manager, for saying bad things about you when you're just trying to get a job. And so that's why a lot of companies, especially larger companies, have policies that as a manager, all you can say is, did the person work for you? What was their dates of employment? And maybe through HR, they can give you a salary verification sometimes, what was their former salary. But usually it's just, this was the person's title and this was their dates of employment. And I'll say that. I'll get people calling me for background checks, reference checks. And I don't give out, this is somebody I really know well or whatever, or we've lined up ahead of time, or it's a friend of mine. I'm not giving just general employee reference checks. I just say, look, our company policy is we don't give out a full reference check. This is to protect ourselves. And so we don't give a full reference check. So I'm not endorsing your candidate or saying bad things about the candidate. Either way. All I can tell you is that, yes, this person worked for our company and he worked from these dates. This was his hire date. This was his end date. And a lot of times other managers will try. I don't hurt them for trying. They'll ask me questions like, well, can you at least tell me, would you hire him back? That's a good question. Would you hire him back? And I'm like, I can't even address that question. All I can say, per our company policy, is the person worked from these dates and this was their job title. And they may continue on, and I'll say, I'm going to stop you right here. That's all I'll actually say to them. I'm going to stop you right here. All I can do is give them the dates of employment, and that's all I will give in addition to their job title, which I have given you. So that's all I can do. Don't infer from that one way or another, positive or negative. It's just where I'm at. So thanks for calling, but I can't share more of that. So you can see for an employer who's trying to hire somebody, they run into these roadblocks. It's like, well, thank you. And they understand because they do the same thing on their end too. So they totally get it. But it's a problem for them for checking for references. So the best practice for an employer is to do a reference check, but it is actually rare. It's kind of funny. You think at least they would do reference checks, at least try to find out more and get these different opinions and verify employment, at least that in the job title. But it's extremely rare actually for them to call your past employers. It happens, and be ready for that. Be ready that if they ask you for your references, that you can provide that to them. Alert your references too, by the way, that they might be getting a call, or your maybe a former employer that you might get a call that you're looking for a job, particularly if you're unemployed now, or somebody might call somebody deep in your background. so they'll let them be aware. And certainly the references you're providing, let them be aware that they might get a call. You might need to coach them through a little bit too. Like, hey, just remember to talk about how I'm a good leader or how I really got that one project done on time. You might have to remind them a little bit, especially if it's been many years since maybe they really worked with you in a work environment. So be alert, be ready, and provide references and kind of coach your references too as well, so they're ready in case they do get a call. Again, rare, but it's a terrific sign, because I don't have time as a manager to be calling thousands of people or anything. I might be down to my last candidate or maybe two just to verify references. Particularly somebody might say, this is the person I want to hire. I might do the reference check just to verify a couple of things, or try to, and say, okay, whatever I got, and I'm going to make an offer now. So that's a good thing too. Just be ready for it and understand it's just part of the process, but you're getting close. You're getting close to an offer, and wouldn't that be great and terrific?